Greetings, YouTube. At one time, it was really common to see t-shirts or truck decals with the saying, "No fear." And I always considered them to be absurd. If someone really isn't afraid, they don't need to put up a phrase that says, "No fear." That's an affirmation. Someone that truly isn't afraid doesn't need an affirmation. And anyone who needs an affirmation bad enough to put it on a t-shirt or to slap it on a truck decal is afraid. So I've always thought that was fairly absurd. Why am I mentioning it? Particularly with the title of this video. Well, at some point in the development of your average man in Western culture, or actually most of the world's cultures, because most of the cultures have been formed and perpetrated by the patriarchy, there is the desire to be the hero. We play into that because of the stories we're told, the myths, the legends, the television series, the movies, the novels. There's a desire to be the hero, to go on the hero's journey. The movie Fight Club kind of plays off the fact that because that myth cannot be realized, that men feel a lot of frustration. And of course, the film comes up with a solution, which actually isn't. It comes up with the worst possible solution to that. But the real solution is to dismantle the patriarchy and to eradicate the myth at all. To do away with the concept that you have to go on a hero's journey to somehow become a real man. And at 51, I understand this. But even I, occasionally, will get that echo of that adolescent desire to be the hero. That echo of the alpha, if you will, which is why I named this video what I did. And I'm making a reference to alphas because the whole concept of the alpha male is just as absurd as the no fear t-shirts and truck decals. If you have to call yourself an alpha male, alpha man, you aren't. Because I can guarantee you, anyone that is actually the alpha of a social group, and remember, an alpha male is only the alpha of any group is just that. They're the alpha of that group. There's not a social class of alpha. It's very specific to that group. And the alpha doesn't last forever. The alpha is replaced by the next generation. So it isn't a permanent slot. It's a temporary one. And being the alpha is really hard. But in the real world, alphas don't declare that they are alphas. They don't go, "I am the alpha," because they don't have to. And I can guarantee you that any man on the internet or in the real world, which would even be more pathetic, and I've seen pictures of someone wearing a shirt saying that they're alpha, is not an alpha. They are the farthest thing from an alpha. They are just an ordinary, everyday schlub that is still suffering under that adolescent fantasy that they can't shake. And the confusion they're feeling in their head is the fact that the patriarchy lied to them. It isn't feminism that caused this problem. These are problems created and perpetrated by men that are plaguing men in the 21st century. And that frustration that I never became the hero I wanted to be is the frustration of never living up to a myth. But it was a myth. You can't live up to a myth. You can't overcome a myth. You can go beyond it. You can stop pretending that you are part of it. Now, in the real world, when people are put into a situation where true heroics could be called upon, some people will rise to the occasion, and their gender has nothing to do with it. But most people will run, or freeze, or die. Now, I don't know how I'll react to that situation in the real world. I can tell you in the past experiences I've had where I BS'd my way out of a knife encounter. I can tell you that when there was an accident recently at work, I went towards the accident because I'm a first aider and that's my job. I volunteered to make sure that people were safe. Of course, once I discovered that there were no one injured, I ran away. Because I'm not stupid. But the echoes of that myth are still in my head. And maybe if I ever find myself in that situation, maybe the berserker will rise in me and I'll charge ahead. Or maybe I'll freeze. Maybe I'll just die. Or maybe I'll run as fast as I can. I don't know. I don't want to know. But the people who have planned for those kind of encounters, outside a very narrow scope of professionals, the rest of them are unstable. The rest of them who want that and aren't professionals need to seek therapy immediately. And the professionals need to seek it as soon as they're no longer in that occupation. Because what they've done is scarring. Being the hero isn't easy. It's a weight on your shoulders that will bear you down and break your back. There's a reason that a lot of our heroes are under tombs. And that's where I think we need to put the myth of the hero, of that alpha male, into a tomb. We need to dismantle the patriarchy. We need to move forward with a world where masculine and feminine are traits each person possess in whatever combination and whatever degree they want to, without anyone telling them that they should or shouldn't do something. If they're too masculine or too feminine or not masculine enough or not feminine enough. Each person should be able to find where they are on that scale, or however you want to, spectrum, or however you want to describe it. And the people who don't want to involve themselves at all with that shouldn't be looked down upon or considered to be unusual. But the echoes of that alpha plague us to this day. And we need to put that myth down. We need to bury that myth away. We need to move on past it and beyond it to a future of gender roles that we all pick for ourselves.